It's Corbin Stuckey with Pixel Talk here, and tonight I am going to be giving you a review of a certain comic book that's probably going to start a lot of controversy. Secret Wars #1. So, this came out last Wednesday, and I just picked it up today at the comic book store, and before I go into the actual review of this issue, I think it's probably a good idea that I give you guys like my sort of background as a Marvel fan. So yeah, here goes. Okay, so ever since I was a kid, 5 or 6, I have loved Marvel. Okay, I've been there since the beginning of the film franchise with X-Men coming out in 2000. So I got pretty started with Marvel at a pretty young age. I was one of those people that Marvel was trying to grab. I was the younger audience. They were trying to grab a younger audience with the movies, the Ultimate Comics line. I was that generation, and I loved being a part of that generation. I absolutely loved it. Marvel is such a huge part of my life. I love comics, or the stories that are involved with comics. I was never really much of a reader, but if I was reading something, I was most likely reading comics. And if I was reading comics, I was most likely reading Marvel. I wasn't really into DC. There was just so much going on in DC Comics. I just couldn't really follow what was, going on in that universe. Until the New 52. After the New 52 was launched, I started getting into DC, and it was fun, but I still had a loving for Marvel. Marvel was my comic book publisher. Like I said, I've been a fan ever since the early 2000s, with the X-Men movies, the Spider-Man movies, even the crappy, Daredevil, Hulk movie, Ghost Rider, and Fantastic Four, stuff like that. And that got me into comics. And after being introduced to the comics, I was introduced to this whole broad universe. It was amazing. It was all of these superheroes living in the same universe. And while I was watching the Spider-Man movies, I was like, obviously I wanted to get into the Spider-Man comics, and I was reading Ultimate Spider-Man, It's, Ultimate Spider-Man was my favorite because Ultimate Spider-Man focused on a young Peter Parker. It was like a retelling of his story, and it introduced me to another sort of universe, the Ultimate Marvel Universe, where it was a modern interpretation of everything, and I had a choosing of whether or not I wanted to go with the original Marvel, timeline or the Ultimate one. So it was very nice for me to have that kind of back and forth feeling of whether or not I wanted to choose what I wanted to read at the time. Whether it be original or, a retelling of a modern take. It was cool having that in front of me as a kid, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you my take as a Marvel Comics fan before I went into the review on this comic, just so you can get a better understanding of how I'm approaching this, because I've been there essentially since the beginning, okay? And I know I talk a lot about movies and video games on this channel. I don't really go into comic reviews a lot. I know with Star Wars I started doing something back then, but it's usually for something really important, like Star Wars. Obviously that's really important. I did a review on Star Wars. And I feel as though this is really, really important for me to talk about, because not only is this a huge moment in the Marvel Universe, it's the ending of the Marvel Universe. It's the ending of both the universes I refer to, seconds ago. It was it's the ending of the Marvel Universe and the Ultimate Comics universe. Two universes I was introduced to as a child, as a young boy, growing up with characters living in a universe like these, and I will say this is the saddest comic I have ever read. Not sad in the sense like, wow, this is really sad, this is a poor take. Like, it's sad, guys. I almost cried. Not cried as in like this is so bad. Like, I almost cried. This is all coming to an end. And I feel as though I had to make a video about it because I've never actually had like a comic book have that sort of effect on me. Like a goodbye, you know. So basically what's going on is there is an event in the comic where the Earth in the Marvel Universe is going to collide with the Earth in the Ultimate Universe, causing the end of both worlds. Now, the first issue of Secret Wars focuses on both worlds fighting each other in order to survive, because apparently they were told that if one wins, then one would survive. However, that was sort of a lie. It was false hope. That's not the case. Both universes, no matter what, end. Characters die. There are a lot of characters that died in this. There are characters that were saved, that I was glad that they saved, but there are characters that died that made me really sad inside. And to give you an example, I'm going to give you one spoiler. Okay, I'm not going to go much into spoilers about the comic. I want to keep it as general because I feel as though this is something you guys need to witness on your own. Go buy this comic. I just don't want, like, this is something you need to witness. And if you want to talk about spoilers, feel free to in the comments below. So yeah, I do want to warn people, like, the comments are going to be not spoiler free, so don't scroll down yet. But yeah, I'm going to give you one spoiler of just an example of how sad this is. That's one of the characters that I killed off. Rocket Raccoon. Rocket was actually one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe. Because he was so out there, he was a raccoon. That's what made him so special about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was that it was so random. And he made you feel that like anything was possible, no matter how ridiculous in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it could happen. He was one of my favorite characters, and he was killed off. And it wasn't just him. A lot of characters were killed off. I'm not going to go into specifics, I just used this to give you an example, but a lot of characters were killed off. A lot of important characters. Not to go into any more spoilers, but a certain portion of a family was killed. Like, I know I'm being really serious in this video, but like, I'm just trying to get my point across as to how insane and sad of a departure this is from what I've known as a kid. It's just crazy to me. If for some odd reason you are wanting to leave Marvel Comics, like reading them, there's still going to be Marvel Comics. They're just not going to take place in the same universes that you've known for the past 10 years. If you're wanting to leave Marvel Comics and start your adult life, if you will, this is actually a really good point for you guys to leave. Because everything, the ending of the comic is literally just white. It's white nothing, and then it goes to darkness. It's sort of like, it is almost like a the end type thing for these universes. So I'm not entirely sure why anybody would want to Well, I could see, like, if you are wanting to call it a quits and you're done, this is a perfect point for you guys to step off the train. I feel as though, this issue. However, this is an 8-issue series, so this isn't really the end, I want to say. It's the end of the universe, but like it's not the end of, like, you know, of Marvel Comics. But I will say, if you don't want to continue on with Marvel Comics, this is a good place to stop. I will say that. But I will say, after reading it, like they did a really good job. They did a really good job ending. I do want to say that. I feel so sad that they ended it, and I know that's what they were going for, but I feel so sad that they ended it, you know? And it's just crazy that it's all gone. So yeah, guys, that was my review, I guess, on Marvel's Secret Wars #1. Comment down below if you've read the comic. If you want to discuss about spoilers down in the comments below, you can. Like the video, share it, please subscribe to Pixel Talk. And yeah, alright guys, thank you so much. I'm Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.